This is the last 2 days of the year.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
So I figured I'd reach out to the local area expert on all things MMA, boxing, combat sports. Just do like a recap on what we feel has happened in the year of MMA.
Yeah. I am very glad to be here for the 7th time.
Hey,
This is number 7.
that's crazy.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, well, you know, I don't think it's a competition between me and Cam anymore. I think it's just Cam versus
Whoever's
Cade.
Oh yeah.
Those two. They're coming in for the way distant second place.
Yeah. Cam has got to be at 4 or 5, and I think Kate is at 4.
Yeah. So
So,
they're neck and neck. They're
Kate
competitive.
is that silent killer right now.
I'm leaps and bounds.
You
there.
are the Undertaker, and they're
WrestleMania, dude.
yeah, they're like
this is the WrestleMania podcasting
for sure.
for sure.
You are Mr. WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been Shawn Michaels, but
See, you know, I wanted to scare the audience to think we were just going to do another whole hour and a half of wrestling. But
yeah, dude, I did have people reach out to me and be interested. Cam being one of them about like they had no idea about wrestling and like listening to our last podcast that got them interested in like looking into the history of wrestling.
well, and you know, like fun fact, wrestling, like pro wrestling, started from catch wrestling.
Yeah,
Which started from Greco-Roman or like the Greco-Roman wrestling. It's like, it's a weird like lineage that it carries. But, you know, originally they had the game, like, you know, wrestling, and then they started doing submission wrestling. And we're talking like ancient Greece and stuff.
Yeah.
Which they called it catch wrestling. Catch as catch can or something like that. And it just, over time it evolved, and they were traveling around doing circus stuff, and they would have somebody, you know, basically they'd say, hey, if you can come beat me, you can win this money. Well, they were squashing everybody, so nobody was coming anymore, and they were like, well, let's do a plant that'll beat me. That's the birth of professional wrestling. So it was shoot fighting for a while,
Yeah.
except for the plant every now and then. Then they're like, hey, we're not getting hurt, we should do it like this. So they come from the same lineage.
Yeah.
You know, whereas combat sports is submission wrestling. Like when that's really what it is. I mean, jiu-jitsu's mixed in there too, for sure, but it's, when you're fighting, it's you know, it's kind of like submission wrestling. You're wrestling, you're doing jiu-jitsu and all sorts of grappling. So it all converges. So it's all interesting, especially because now MMA from the entertainment aspect is headed in that same convergence there, especially being owned by the
TKO.
same entity,
Yeah,
or whatever.
WWE and UFC, and that's being like streamed now from Netflix. I don't know what that's gonna mean for the UFC. I assume they're gonna want to be on that banner, but
Yeah, but
January 6th being the first Raw on Netflix.
it'll be interesting to watch. I don't
Did you
think
see
it's
the new
gonna
logo for Raw.
Yeah,
I mean, micro changes, but for sure.
yeah. I mean, sleek.
What I thought would have been cool was RA being the same, and then the W being the WWE.
Yeah,
logo.
that would be pretty cool.
Because I feel like that's like paying kind of like it's still
Like
making it
paying
feel
homage,
a little
but
rawish.
still, yeah.
And then if maybe they could have did like the old school big red bars.
Yes.
Oh, I love the Raw is War.
You know, I'm a fan of the time I grew up, so you know the Raw is War, and then the Raw from the early days. But the UFC, I think they would do probably excellent on
for sure
Netflix.
Dude,
but I don't think they should do
100%.
Netflix. I think they should. I don't know. I feel like they should stay at ESPN, because Netflix is an entertainment service, you know, and I get that they're trying to get into the live sporting events and stuff like that, but I really feel like ESPN is like the mecca. Like that's where y'all should be. You want to be a world-renowned combat sport.
Yeah.
ESPN. Like that's where you need to stay.
This is my train of thought, because ultimately ESPN is kind of going down. Like they were at their heyday when we were teenagers, you know?
For sure.
Like
yeah.
their heyday. So in my opinion, Netflix should make a play to buy ESPN, make it part of their package. I think it's ultimately owned by Disney, so Netflix ain't no way they're gonna be able to buy out ESPN out from under Disney.
No.
But if they could do something like that, because ESPN has everything plug and play, it's so streamlined now. It works so effortlessly, but the way Netflix is, it's so clunky, and they haven't figured out the streaming yet.
Well, I think also with that, now I the only Netflix live stream I've watched was the Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was kind of like a little bit different. I don't even think Khabib McGregor would do 100 million streams, even if it was free. I mean, people, you got to think of the superstardom that Tyson had and achieved, and has added on to that throughout all that. You know,
What
all
were
these
their
decades.
numbers?
It was like 100 million. No, it was
Wow.
it was an insane amount of people that streamed it, which is what caused it to crash. I mean, I don't think there's any servers in the world that can.
Yeah.
You know, that's a
I never
lot.
understand that because, like, and this is just like a very elementary way to think. I just thought, like, if you're watching it from your location, whatever servers are in your area is what's helping you watch it, not like one Netflix server or whatever.
Well,
that way,
more than
that
likely
works.
that is the case, just like cell phone towers. But even they can get overloaded. Like
Yeah.
if that area, I mean, I don't know. Everybody and their brother was talking about that.
I don't know either, and I have yet to see any of them live. Like, I haven't watched a Netflix live thing live. Like, I've watched them, but not when it was streaming live. I watched it like the day after,
Right.
because it'll be late at night or whatever the thing is, and I'd rather not experience the shit that everybody keeps talking about it being clunky. So I'd rather like wait for the recorded clip to be dropped,
Sure.
because they're gonna edit all the clunks out or whatever, you know, because they're gonna have the actual stream in their pocket, and then they'll just upload it and it'll be live for everyone, versus like literally streaming it live.
Well, that's kind of what they were doing. Is they, they kept like lagging, and then they would like reload, but it would buffer 20 minutes back. So they were trying to get people to kind of have a delay so they could keep up.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough if somebody's already seen it.
I don't think that they necessarily expected that many people to tune in, because everybody was, shitting on it. But also, Tyson still looks scary enough, especially in the training videos. Everybody really thought he had a chance,
Yeah.
But it's whatever. I agree with the Netflix sentiment of the ESPN thing, but I just feel like, why let ESPN die? Bring them back.
That's what I think, and I think like this new age, I think it would make the most sense to be tied to Netflix.
Yeah.
ESPN and Disney doesn't make sense to me. Branding wise, it doesn't mesh to me. Like, if you're Disney, I get buying Hulu. I get buying like
I would get them buying like HBO or something like that even.
Yeah, because that's way more entertainment in a different way. Yeah. Like, I think Netflix should just try to make a play for it. Like, ultimately, I just feel like it would be a better fit. I wanted to... When the hell... The first card of the year. Do you remember the big pay-per-view? The first one had to be like $290 something, right? $299 was March. So it had to be like...
Oh, nice. Sorry. Started playing music there.
The first one was $297. That was Sean Strickland, Dracus Duplessis. So,
man, that's
damn,
he
won that almost a year ago and hasn't defended it, has he?
He did against Izzy.
Oh yeah, that's right. He defended it once.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, we can talk about a lot of things. Well, I'll bring it up. So I'll try to like go through. But I've been thinking about it a lot, and it really kind of hurts my heart to have to say this opinion. But I'm gonna go right off a rip of the Fighter of the Year.
Okay.
Fighter of the Year won by ESPN or UFC or whatever was Alex Pereira, and I get it. Like,
was it? I thought Max won Fight of the Year. Oh no, he won Fight of the Year and Knockout of the Year.
Yeah, Fighter of the Year. I feel like Pereira has a really good case for it. Like, I understand why they picked it. 3 title defenses, 3 finishes.
Yeah.
Okay, but your Knockout of the Year undoubtedly is who?
Max
Holloway, just for the circumstance of like, okay, this is one of
the lasting effect, biggest pay-per-view,
but also Justin Gaethje is top tier opponent, so it's not like he did it to where they were fighting at lightweight, so it's not like he did it to like Clay Guida, you know what I mean? Like, it's He did it to Justin fucking Gaethje.
And we can argue this is like the golden era of lightweight, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to look back on
I
this.
don't know, bro. Because, like, I feel like it is just... I feel like the golden era is still around. I feel like lightweight... It's been a long time since lightweights really had that dip.
Yeah.
And I think we're headed towards that dip.
I do, too. But what I'm saying is right now, I don't think you can pick anybody in the top 10 and fight anybody else in the top 10, and all of us want to see that fight, no matter who it is.
But my point, before you get me sidetracked, because I will lose what I'm trying to say. No, you're good, brother. I'm saying that I think it was was it Yuri, Jamal Hill, and then Roundtree? Was that it? Or was it Roundtree, Yuri, or was it Jamal Hill, Yuri, Roundtree? Roundtree was the last one he did.
It was Jamal, Yuri, Roundtree.
Okay. Excellent. I mean, dude, stop. No, I'm good. Yeah, boom. That was great. Yuri kicked him in the head like a fucking savage. Roundtree, he completely butchered him out. I get it. But it was Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. It was Yuri. Now that's impressive. And it was Khalil. That's impressive. But my fighter pick of the year, and I don't even really care for the guy, is Ilia Topuria. Because he 2 title fights, 2 knockouts, is 1 less than Pereira. But
the people,
brother, the people. He knocked out the guy who has the knockout of the year, who had never been knocked out. UFC record for most significant strikes absorbed, like most significant strikes, dished out. I mean, the guys that he knocked out, and then of course Volk, who beat the guy that is like the record holder. And
the underlying hidden fact to all this is they are the 2 kings of that division before he came.
Right.
So the kings, not
but this one's like Aldo, the greatest featherweight of all time.
For 10 years, untouchable.
And then, of course, the Conor thing happens, but then Max gets the belt. He beats Aldo twice. Max defends the belt, cleans out the division. Volkanovski comes up. He beats Aldo twice. He beats Max 3 times. Max beats everybody else. Max only has lost to Poirier.
He becomes the Robert Whittaker of the division for a while. Whittaker has seemingly fell a little bit.
But Topuria made it all look easy.
Yes.
I'm not even like a huge fan. I think he is very skilled and very technical. I think he models himself after Conor McGregor a little too hard. But that has got to be your fighter of the year. And I wanted it to be Pereira. But if you're looking at this from a statistical standpoint, he took out Peyton Manning and he took out Tom Brady. He took out John Elway and he took out fucking, name another one.
Joe Montana.
Yeah. That's the one I was looking for. You know what I mean? Like
you're taking out.
He took out The Undertaker and he took out Shawn Michaels. Yeah. Okay, so we are, that's my pick.
If you know what they would do in college football, they would call it the eye test. Like that'd be like you being ranked 4 and people thinking like, yeah, they are a legit 4th ranked team. Right. And then you knocked out the Alabama, who's won like the last 8 of 16.
Yeah, you knock out Alabama, you knock out Clemson, Georgia.
You're knocking out like these like heavy hitters that have been holding the titles lately and seemingly making it look effortlessly. I will say Max doesn't get enough credit for how good he was doing in the fight.
No, I think Max was winning the fight.
Yes.
I think he lost the first round, and I think his knockout came in the third. So the second, I was like, oh, okay. And then the third round, I thought he was completely winning the third round, but I guess Homeboy was just setting him up.
Yeah.
There could be an argument. Now, of course, aesthetics is what's gotten Max, but there could also be an argument knockout of the year is Max being knocked out by Topuria. Now, aesthetically, it's not the same. It's not the face plant, neck break, all that crazy stuff, but it's the guy that's absorbed the most punishment in UFC history and still winning fights.
Yes.
Because there's guys that absorb a ton of punishment and talk like that, like I just did.
It's going to be hard because to me, which one is more impressive? You could say, you could argue it's the Alex knockout because he did knock him out cold. Mm-hmm. Even though it was against the cage and it wasn't as crazy as like the face slump to Gaethje, how Max
Right.
did Gaethje. You like that is
But-
more impressive to me than the Max one because
But the reason
Alexander beat Max.
again, that's a visual though, right?
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm saying that is because Volk just got knocked out by Islam. Now
Yeah,
it was a head
that
kick
sucks.
knockout. It was quick, but at the same time, he just got knocked out. We've
Yeah.
seen it in recent memory. We've never seen Max Holloway knocked out. We saw
Yeah,
Dustin
that is
Poirier.
crazy.
We watched Dustin Poirier knock out Conor McGregor. We watched Dustin Poirier knock out a ton of people, but not knock out Max Holloway and land a ton of shots.
Crazy.
So it's definitely one of those things that's like marketing standpoint, I get it. Like Pereira is the guy right now. Like
Yeah.
Topuria still has time to go.
This is why I think they picked Alex, and I don't know.
He's also the bigger draw.
Yeah, and I don't know who's doing the picking per se, but I think something about the short notice, something about the stories of him being injured after the fact coming out and not
It's
before.
extremely well deserved.
They're
And I'm
so-
not like
yeah.
I'm not like shitting on Alex because
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, dude, you deserve it. I mean, I didn't win 3 title fights this year by finish, so like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna say? But I'm just saying from a sporting perspective, like I guess your armchair quarterback or just your analyst perspective, I would just think of like strength of schedule situations, not necessarily that Yuri and Roundtree and even Jamal are that. They're not slouches. They're all Jamal, former champion, Yuri, former champion, Roundtree, contender.
Yeah, potentially future champion.
Yeah, for
sure. Depending on how he plays out his career. The also other thing you got to look at is like who has more left.
Yeah.
Like arguably, well, I mean the way Poirier's talking or Topuria is talking. He says he's going to be done in like 3 or 4 years.
I hate that stuff that these guys do where
you say something like that.
They switch that. I mean, you have yourself a plan. Cormier did that.
Gaethje did that. Gaethje was like, I'm done at 30 or something. He's like 35 or something.
Yeah, they're just talking at that point. But I mean, the part where he's, he wins the belt and he defends it one time, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna move up and I'm gonna fight Makhachev. And I'm like, dude, Max cleared out the division. Yeah. Alexander cleared out the division. Like these people
also
cleared out. Hey, why don't you put on some boxing 2024 knockouts? That's what we should look at there. Because humongous matchup just happened when this comes out.
But before I finish that, Topuria said he wants to retire soon, but like arguably, Alex, what else do you have to prove but to try to take the heavyweight title? Mm-hmm. And even if you take it, you don't even need to ever defend it. Never. Just to win it once and retire.
Alex has got to beat Ankalaev just to shut everybody up because
Boxing knockouts 2024.
Because he's in the same boat that Aspinall is. The only difference is everybody likes to slob on Aspinall. You know what I mean? Oh, first one's pretty good. So yeah, it's
like if I was to put my money in like something that I feel is gonna make more money short term, Alex is gonna make a fuck ton of money. Like his next fight is Ankalaev. If he wins that,
well, you have the prospect of him going to heavyweight. Whereas like
regardless, he will. I think regardless, it's spicy.
Topuria, nobody wants to fight or nobody wants to see him fight Makhachev. Not yet. I mean, I don't. Like you slept Volk. All right, cool. I don't think you're gonna. Volk's not trying to wrestle you to death.
My thing is like with the Makhachev thing. He needs to stop fighting people that are not in his division.
Good Lord.
This fight with Arman will be the first in his division?
Mm-hmm.
Like Charles, he took the belt off. Then he fought Volk twice. Then he fought Poirier.
I think he fought Poirier. He may have. I don't know.
He fought Volk back to back.
Yeah. So it must have been Volk.
Because Volk lost a close decision. Then they were like, let's do a rematch. Got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's like, cool, I'm going to give Poirier the rematch because of the St. Denis knockout.
Oh, okay. That's right, yeah.
Remember? And then, arguably, like, Poirier spent, well, I guess he's the first real lightweight that Makhachev, on his title run, has taken out. Yeah. Right? So now you're fighting Arman. Okay, so now real defense. And then after that, you're going to go fight somebody is now coming from another division again.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be 3 in your whole. That'd be more out of your division than in your division.
Yeah,
Stop doing that shit.
It happens more than you think, though. You know, over
get that,
of course of history. But no, I agree. He doesn't want to fight Topuria. He's already said that. He's like, I don't want to fight Topuria.
Topuria should win.
I like Makhachev way more than I ever remotely like Khabib. Like Khabib's dry, he's no personality.
I like both of them equally. I think Makhachev.
I like Makhachev. Funnier. He's funnier, so he's got more personality.
Call, like,
dude, the DC
fat and shit.
The DC
he's
stuff.
Like, brother.
He's like brother.
Or like he calls people fake black belts.
Yeah.
This is not black belt.
You need to run.
Yeah.
You need to go run.
You need to give back.
Brother, you're so fat.
Yeah.
It's just like,
and he's so dry too.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it so.
But he does this like fake smile. He's like,
you know, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fighter of the year. Like I said, Topuria.
It's a 2-man race, really.
Really, yeah. I mean, it's 1A, 1B, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like knockout of the year. I mean, really, again, I feel like if you're going by aesthetics, then there's no knockout better than what Max did, because it's pointing to the ground against one of the most dangerous dudes.
Final second.
Yeah, you know.
We're not talking about the first round. We're talking final second, 5th round. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
And then submission of the year, I didn't pay much attention to, honestly. I haven't even looked it up.
I haven't either. I wish I could have watched more stuff. The way my schedule works out, I haven't been able to catch wow, what a knockout. A lot of the pay-per-views, so I'll have to either stay up and watch it or like try to watch it after the fact and just see highlights, which sucks, but
no, man, I watch all of them. They all run together. I hate to say it. Like sometimes when you watch every single one, it's like, man, what was that last year or the year before? Or
I wonder
2 days ago or
because everything's knockouts. Let's see. UFC submissions 2024. Normally it'd be like the top submissions 2024.
There you go.
These are all MMA, which
is fine. MMA is still the sport. Sometimes you get to see some good ones, man.
Yeah. But no, I haven't really seen anything. Submission-wise, I'm more of a jiu-jitsu guy, so I've been watching a lot of the jiu-jitsu competitions, and some of them have been fucking wild what people are getting away with. A teammate of mine out of Atlanta, his name's Kevin Beering, and, dude, he's broken so many people's legs this year. Like, broken.
Yeah.
Like, twisted their fucking shin bone in half.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy, like, what people will just, like, be willing to let go and just be like, well, I'll make it through this. No, you won't. He literally broke the dude's ankle or broke the dude's shin and immediately let go because it sounded like a broken bat. And homie was like, I'm okay. And he's like, no, you're not. I just broke your leg.
Oh, my God.
Like, I just completely broke your leg. Jesus. Like, jiu-jitsu is so strange in the fact that, like, you'll come across somebody that is malleable. They're flexible. Yeah. They're like, they have bendy joints, and then all of a sudden something does not bend anymore, and then it will break. But you sometimes do not get any heads up that it's gonna be at its breaking point.
Right. No, it's just there, and then it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see that like when Frank Mir broke Nogueira's arm with the Kimura. it was just bending, boom. There was no like.
Yeah.
Some guys are so tight, you'll see that. You'll see where you're like, if I go more, I might break it. And then some guys, it's just like, snap.
Yeah, or the one before that, the Tim Sylvia break.
Right, that was broken at a odd.
The forearm break.
So you want to know my theory on that?
Yeah, what's up?
I bet you he fractured his forearm in training blocking high kicks.
Oh, and it wasn't that like much left to go.
Right. It probably was already fractured or damaged without knowing it. Like just blocking a high kick like that. But, if you think about it, the arm bar, where it broke in the middle of the forearm is such a weird spot. I mean, you do jiu-jitsu, I do. Yeah. We all.
I wonder if we rewatched it, was his pelvic area higher up than his elbow? Like, was it?
It was on that titanium cup that they wore.
That might be it then.
It might be, but I don't know. I just like I'm saying I don't. There maybe, but there very well could have been a fractured forearm there without. I mean, like I said, uh, just blocking a high kick, boom.
Oh no, that wasn't this year. I was gonna say John Jones choking out Cyril Gahn.
Hey man,
but that was last year.
That turning side kick.
Wow!
Was a good
Did you
knockout.
see the slow mo of that?
Yeah, I mean
that
was
his body.
That's
brother.
up there for knockout of the year.
Yeah, because you're talking about the greatest
heavyweight of all time.
Yeah, like stats wise for the UFC.
So everybody's talking about John fighting Tom. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Like they are in talks.
Yeah.
I told everybody. Like John's a troll, bro. It's just what he does. His whole thing is to make you think.
If he's doing that, he should for sure completely shut it down then. Be like, no, I'm not fighting that guy ever. Next question.
Yeah.
And then fight the guy.
Yeah.
Make it seem like no.
Yeah. I mean,
I do love the way he's like doing it, and like Dana's being like, no, he actually is wanting to fight him. He just saying that for you guys. That is crazy. Speaking of shit like that, like we're coming into 2025. What are the dream fights for this year? Like, what fights do you?
I mean, I would like to
Tom
see
Aspinall John fight is going to happen.
It's going to happen. I don't think. To me, that's not really a dream fight. I think Tom loses, and I think it hurts his stock to lose. I think John retires undefeated.
Okay, I'll take the hot take. I think Tom wins.
You think Tom wins? I don't think there's any way Tom wins.
Yeah.
I don't think Tom can out wrestle him. I think Tom can hit him and knock him out. That's about
the reason why I'm picking Tom is like this is our last chance to pick someone else. Like I don't think John fights anyone else.
No.
Like John wins the title. I don't think he fights Alex.
So you want to know what I think? I think that athletes are notoriously bad with their money, and John wants to make sure he has retirement money to fight Tom, and I think that's what this whole ploy's been. And it seems to be working. I feel like,
which is crazy because.
But I would like to see Alex go to heavyweight and fight Tom for the title, because it'll either be Alex and Tom or Cyril and Tom, or Cyril and Tom or Cyril and Pereira. That'd be an interesting fight, Cyril Gahn and Pereira. But he lost his last fight, even though he won.
I think Alex would beat him just because I feel like Cyril kind of. After losing to Francis, something got taken away from his like ego.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't that guy anymore because he was on a streak.
Yeah,
like, he's getting everybody
kickboxing everybody's face off,
and everybody was like, "He's the
Volkov
future. He's the evolution."
Dude, Volkov won that fight. I don't know if you watched the fight that they had. What was it, last weekend, the weekend before, or whatever it was? But
I heard it was a robbery.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it was not good.
Why did they pick? Gone then? Like, what was the thing that you could like hang your hat on? Like, this is why.
I don't know, honestly. Adelaide Bird was there. That's probably why.
Why is that lady still doing it?
Why do they let her still do it? I get why she's still doing it, because she wants to watch fights or something like that. But why do they still license her? Oh Lord!
I still believe it should be a situation like. You should have to be a purple belt, or you should have to have 10 years of boxing, or you should have to have experience in the sport, coaching or something. You have to have an in and out respect for it because you've gone through it and you understand what it takes, so you know how to score things better. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You can't judge boxing if you're not a boxer.
No,
I can't judge boxing. I shouldn't be a judge. I bet you if I really tried, I could become one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's aggravating.
Yeah,
because there's no respect for the sport. Like,
well,
you're never going to be a NASCAR pit crew chief. No. Never in your life.
No.
Why? Those people are ex-racers. They race before they ever... Their dream was to be a NASCAR racer or driver. It was never, I'm going to be the coach. But then they feel like... Or they realize throughout their career that they're like, yo, I don't have it like that. This dude's got that. I'm going to give him all the knowledge I possibly have. So there needs to be some sort of like, you have like some experience in this, not just like, oh, I want to do this because it looks cool. I think I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
There's more than eye tests in MMA and
Well, yeah,
in
no,
a judging sense.
I
It's not
agree, because
just
there's been
visual.
plenty of fights where you've seen guys on the bottom dealing out nasty damage with elbows and punches, and the guy on top's just holding on for dear life, but he still wins the round.
Like
You're
there's
losing a fight. You're
super controversial decisions always. Like, for example, Paddy Pimblett is notorious for controversial decisions.
yeah.
Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan was super controversial.
Yeah.
Like, you have people die hard on both sides of the fence. Like, no, Sean won. He won like what 2, 3, and 5. Even he said that. But while he won the fight, he was like he openly admitted, I think, in one of the post-fight things, he's like, I don't know if I won that. I'd have to watch it back. And then when he watched it back, he's like, I 100% won that.
Yeah.
So it's like even him in the moment, and he's
Well,
in
that's
the
the
fight.
thing. Well, that's the thing too. That's why they probably need a few more than just 3 judges, because it's one of those things, like maybe 5 or I don't know, because it's one of those things about you
Or
can
what
kind
if
of
there was
get a
5
template. You
judges?
can kind of get a template of like, okay, well, this is what a winning fight looks like, or a fighter winning looks like, and this is what a losing fighter looks like. But at the same time, if someone's attack, I mean, I don't know, you're going to look at a fight different. That's right. So you might look at a fight differently when a guy lands a takedown and has top control.
Yes.
Whereas, it's just about perspective, I guess. I'm trying to argue a point without sounding stupid, but at the same time,
I'm gonna build on your point. Let's move it to 5 judges, but let's make the 5 judges 80% of the decision, and then 20% of it is the statistics and how that equals out. So say 3 people vote one way, 2 people vote the other, or whatever the math is on the 80 and 20.
So I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
What's the point of tracking significant strikes if you have the most significant strikes, you don't automatically win?
Yeah. Good point.
Right? Total strikes, I get it. Significant.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Well, so technically to them, significant strike is anything other than a jab. Well, that's stupid. Significant strike, if you're going to do it that way,
should be something that is
significant.
Yeah,
Bang,
visibly affecting someone.
Yeah. Even if it's torquing their head, whap, or whap. Okay, I get you. Body kick. Right? But, I'll see fights all the time where a guy loses, but he has 10 more significant strikes. Now, 10's not that many, but you also see fights where there's only 10 total punches thrown because it's mainly grappling. So, a takedown. How heavy do you weigh a takedown? They weigh takedowns stupid heavy. Like, a guy can be... It could be like real close, point, bang, bang, bang. Guy gets just a takedown, then he pops right back up and he wins the round. Yeah. That's not fair. That's no different than you throwing and landing a jab on me because I got right back up.
Yeah, and also the flip side of that coin is like fighters will use that to their advantage. Like, for example, Volk and Islam first fight. Mm-hmm. Volk took him down, or Islam took him down a lot and just held his back. Mm-hmm. Couldn't really do anything.
A lot of guys do that. Just sit there and they'll hold the back for the whole round. Aljamain does that. And it's like, it's weird because I get that you're coming into a sport and you're an athlete and maybe you're not a fighter, but this is fighting. So we want to see fighting, and you're the best submission grappler in the world, I guess. Bilal Muhammad is the best, like, I mean, he's a great fighter, I guess. I can't really deny that. But it's just weird, man. I feel like if you're in MMA, you should be fighting to win. Like not fighting. You should be like...
But there are people...
You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be trying
to...
Obviously, he's fighting to win.
Here's examples.
In a more exciting way, because that's how you make money.
Connor... These are people going in there. They want to kill you. They do not want to make a decision ever in their life. Then you have people that only decision people, like
George St. Pierre,
Bilal
Muhammad,
probably unpopular. Well,
Damian Maia.
Yeah, I mean, you have a ton of people.
They go in there and they have it.
Sean Strickland, kind of now.
Dude, Sean Strickland is not exciting at all.
Yeah,
dude, the meme of the going to war. The going to war meme is so funny.
I haven't seen that.
It's something about they were like this is I can't remember what it was. They was a post of something that was like, this must be the war that Sean's talking about. And it was something like super relaxed and not whatever, because he's always talking about how they're going to go to war, and then
I'm willing to die.
Jab, front kick, jab, front kick, jab, front kick. Like, You know, it's obviously you don't want to go in there and just throw hands to no end and look like the last 5 seconds or 10 seconds of the Max Holloway fight with Justin Gaethje. But also, I don't feel as if though, like if it's not in you to take someone down and try to ragdoll them, choke them out, submit them, beat on them, advance your position, then maybe you should pick another sport. Jiu-jitsu, if you want to just go and grapple with somebody and hold them down and rest when you can and then maybe get a submission here and there, but like I don't mind grapplers like Makachev who will grapple to a finish. Like he is going in, he has a purpose. When he takes you down, he is going to finish you.
Yeah.
Guys like Bilal who will like just hold you on the fence, pop shot you enough. They hit you enough that they don't get pulled off, and then they hold. Colby's terrible at that.
Usman there for a little bit of a streak was.
Yeah.
I mean, still,
and
I guess.
you're using the rule set to your advantage
for sure,
and you're manipulating the system a little bit, but it's like I get that you're winning and you're making money, but you're robbing the fans really because like.
There's been several people like that in many industries. Like, you could argue like Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. You could argue Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR. Like it was like people don't like him, but he was winning. Wasn't very flashy. He just was consistently good enough to beat everyone else. Also had the best equipment.
Well, Anderson's got a great career when you think about it because he has those boring fights.
Yeah.
And he has those fights where he just was Damian Maia,
Travis Lutter.
But he also has those insanely crazy
Chris
knockouts.
Lieben, like
Forrest Griffin,
all these
Rich
like
Franklin 2 times.
Magic punch type situations where you're like, what?
Yeah.
He didn't even touch him.
With that, like, you got to take the good and the bad, but when your whole career is the bad, like St. Pierre, that's why people were like so over him when he left. You know,
he had arguably greatest comeback of all time to leave again.
Oh yeah,
choked unconscious.
Yeah,
like a MMA Hall of Fame legend choked unconscious. Arguably picked and chose his fights while he was a champion. Yeah. But we love Bisping. Bisping is the fucking man. He's got a great personality.
Like you might, Bisping.
Huh?
Y'all love Bisping. He annoys me.
I like him now that he's like dad and he's not fighting anymore. He's got a fun take on things.
I do like him a lot more than I did when he was a fighter.
I will say
the back half of his career I didn't mind him either. But I grew up watching Dan Henderson versus Bisping. That's like one of the first ever.
Yeah.
It was like 2009, that Ultimate Fighter, the UK versus Team America. And he was so awful in that. And then when I went back and watched all the Ultimate Fighter seasons, he was so awful in that. It was just like, oh my God, this fucking guy.
This has just got me thinking about this. Who is your favorite UFC or MMA in general personality? I have one that I just feel like cannot be beat because it just gets better with time. But I want to hear who you got.
Well, so I feel like we're probably going to pick the same guy, but at the same time, I feel like he is getting a little... I feel like sometimes he's a little too much now. He's getting older.
God damn it. I know who you're going to say.
Chael Sonnen?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
I love
it's
Chael.
funny because he's corny, but it's like... Yeah. But then he does have really good breakdowns.
No, I still watch Uncle Chael.
He's
the greatest MMA personality ever.
Ever. Connor is lost. He is too serious to himself. He's never shown a funny side where you don't know if he's serious or not.
Right.
Chael, it's like
Connor's got the bully funny. Yeah. Like Chael's got that frat boy funny buddy. Funny.
Even in his peak when he was like Ultimate Chael talking about Anderson, you absolutely suck. Even then, good stuff. You could see that he probably believes he's really good, but he doesn't believe what he's saying. But it's funny.
Yeah.
Connor is saying shit like, yo, like he said that thing about your wife is a towel to fucking... Yeah. He's saying the crazy shit to hurt people, not to be funny.
Right.
Nothing about that was him trying to be funny.
No, for sure, but also he is also trying to... He's a bully. He's trying to
hurt people, trying to knock them out of their thing. But like Chael did that because he was so... annoying in a funny way.
Dude,
it's like
Chael is a troll.
Yeah,
that is Chael is that internet troll.
He's a businessman,
and it is
gets it.
amazing. So he is number one top tier. Then you can go Conor McGregor, and then really and truly, personality wise, after him, I'm not a whole lot of like I don't care for the Diaz personalities. They're just kind of the same.
See, people like
mid fighter.
Content wise, I would say DC because I like his like banter.
Yeah, you know what?
But I hate how he has to be on ESPN, where he has to be like that. I got a point about everything, and this is why you're right, or this is why I'm right.
I like DC a lot. He's a little judgmental sometimes.
Oh yeah, he does have his things. Yeah.
Joe Rogan,
obviously,
that's a no brainer, right?
Max, when he's doing interviews, he's fun.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Volk's got a great one. Have you seen that?
Oh God, Cooking with Volk.
Dude, have you seen the preview he did before he fought Taporia, where he was talking about the old man? They say,
oh yeah,
35,
he came out with a cane. All that. Love that. I love, but I really fall for those like Australian fighters that have a Craig Jones. He's a jiu-jitsu guy, but he has the best troll on the planet because
I like what he's done for jiu-jitsu. Excuse me.
Yeah, they just announced CJI 2, which is
I watched that whole thing, dude. I don't watch any jiu-jitsu competitions. I watched that whole thing.
The one that's coming out in 2025. It's going to be 8 quintet teams.
That's crazy.
Battling for $1 million. So they're picking. I don't know if it's going to be teams of 3 or 5. I think quintet is 5, right?
Oh,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Quintet,
so you're talking about like 5 people from each team, and they haven't announced the teams because like they haven't picked them. But that is fucking awesome for the sport. Paying $1 million to the winners. I assume all of them are still going to get like a 10,000 just to show like they did for the first one. They're announcing super fights for it. Like, I don't know. He's just perfect because he adds the best little. He's kind of like the Powerpuff Girls, like sweet spice, everything nice, but a little wild.
Yeah, no, I like him. I don't follow him super close, but you know, what I do follow, I think he's funny, but also like what he's doing. Yeah, because he's also making it a lot of fun.
That, and what makes it really fun is he pokes the giant that is Gordon Ryan, like the best in the world at what he does. He pokes him because he used to be on his team. He knows a lot of information that I'm sure Gordon doesn't want out there, and he knows Gordon's the best. He's lost to Gordon several times, and he's called his own team the B team.
Yeah.
Like, he has a podcast called El Segundo, which means second. Like, everything about him is branded as the second best grappler in the world.
Right.
He's not even that anymore. Like, there's people for sure that are the best, the second best, like the third best, all that. Right. So he's not even that anymore. But, like, it's funny that he has taken any sort of, like, firepower you have against him as his firepower. That is his thing now.
Yeah.
I love that when people do that.
Yeah, well, you know, October. Oh, there's our boy.
I didn't even get to it. That was a crazy submission. I mean, damn, that was 2023 though.
Top
choking him out standing.
Submissions. All those are just fucking.
I mean, what do you think about some of the fights that have been announced? Like Shavkat.
Oh, good Lord, have mercy. That was terrible. That poor guy.
Shavkat just beat Ian Gary.
Yeah.
So arguably he's fighting Bilal next. And I didn't get to fucking watch the fight, but I heard that Ian did pretty fucking good.
I mean...
Did you watch it?
I did. And...
Better than expected, apparently. Because he took his back, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
That's crazy, because everybody thought Shavkat was going to maul him, because if it's not standing, Shavkat's going to just...
Yeah, no, his jiu-jitsu definitely, and his grappling definitely surprised me. Unfortunately, I don't want to be this guy, but it kind of went the way I thought it was going to go. When you get these two undefeated guys, and Gary is a very defensive guy. Watch any of his fights. He's long, he's rangy, he's defensive, he's not. And then you've got Shavkat just comes forward, but you watched his fight with, who did he fight? Wonder Boy? Or was it the other way around. Yeah,
Gary?
he fought Wonder Boy. Gary fought MVP. Shavkat fought Wonder Boy.
Yes.
And Jeff Neal. Like, even that thumbnail we just saw, the choke was against the cage. Shavkat just pushes you against the cage. I didn't doubt at all that Ian Gary or whatever his name is, would have worked his defense so well, right? But yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like guys will work their defense because they know that guy's really good. God Lord, that they know that guy's really good at something, and then they'll put themselves in a deficit as far as offensively.
Yeah.
So this guy's gonna shoot for the takedown. I'm gonna defend takedown, get off my back, get up there, blah, blah, blah. And then your mode and your mind is defensive.
You've
solely.
already lost. You have no. Yeah, it's just like you're only doing things to try to beat their thing, and they're already evolving past that.
The best guys, they do their thing.
Yes.
Max Holloway does his thing.
Which pisses me off so bad because I was watching the fight and I was like,
this guy is
Max might get this.
This guy's such a chump. Dude, have you seen the video of him coming up and talking shit to Pereira? And
and didn't take the gloves.
Yeah, like listen.
Pereira's like, take the fucking gloves. Let's
go.
I
listen. I get the like I only fight for money, but then like don't come up there and do that. Yeah, no, because
that's a wild take.
Like we're men, so like we fight for honor.
Not that he came into Pereira's gym because it was like the institute.
It's still he came into his space.
Yeah, so
his
it's
training
like
session.
You clearly wanted to do something, and then they gave you the opportunity. Like, look,
that dude is a comic book character.
Alex
Pereira.
Alex Pereira is crazy.
Dude, if you're playing like
also look at this real quick. I wanted to show you this a second ago. Arguably, he caught him on the chin, but don't you feel like that might have been a lack of oxygen in his head from the attempt at the guillotine? He could have been standing up and just like trying to come stars already seeing, and then
like you said, taking a deep breath, his mouth could have been wide open.
Yeah.
But I mean, he had rocked him a few times already.
Damn, yeah. Poirier is a mother.
I heard he's a father, actually.
You're a bastard. What is the worst you've ever been knocked out? Is there one where you don't even remember it? Or like like training, fighting, anything. I'm not necessarily saying what's out there, but like has there been a moment where you're like, what the fuck?
There's been the first time I ever got like rocked was I got kicked in the head by this guy when I was like, I don't know, I'd only been training probably 6 months or so. And maybe a little longer because I was wanting to lose weight. And this guy that I was working with at the time, like took me to this park and was like, hey man, don't tell nobody, and made me pull my pants down. It was crazy, but I'm just kidding. No, he took me to this park and it was like this circuit or whatever that he had. And it was like monkey bars and like pulls and battle ropes and stuff. And then I went to sparring after. So like my whole upper body was dead.
Yeah.
And like my hands were like right here. Yeah, they were smoked. My hand was like right here, and dude head kicked me, and I remember he head kicked me pretty hard, and I remember like just like my hand wrap, one of my hand wraps and one of my gloves were off. I just come to, and I'm like, what happened? And they're like, God, man, you've asked me that like 6 times. That's happened to me like at least twice, maybe 3 times in my whole combat. That's a concussion for sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, they're like, you got head kicked, you finished the round, you came out here, you sat down, you started asking me what happened. Like, so I didn't go out, but nobody was home. And then that was in the very beginning that I had a bunch of fights and never really had anything go wrong. Took good solid shots. And then I fought Leonard Williams, my last amateur fight, at the Shriners, and he hit me with he's southpaw, and he hit me with an overhand left square on the chin, dude. And I remember getting hit, and I remember yelling at him like, woo, like just like a Ric Flair, like he hit me and I was just like, woo, and then I just kept coming forward. But then after that I just remember being in the middle of the ring it was for that amateur belt I brought that one time.
Yeah.
And they were just like shaking me like, RJ, you won, bro. And I'm like, huh, what happened? And I ended up fighting, I guess, like a whole nother round after that. And then I was gonna fight into the third round, but he had like broken his hand, and I had won on the scorecard, so it was going into the third round.
Oh, wow.
But I had won round 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And so I won by a technical decision.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was like, that one was scary. I was like foggy the next day. That dude hit me the hardest I've ever been hit in my entire life. And then Dakota hit me once in our second fight, that boxing match. He hit me and I felt it in my toes. You know, we were doing something. I came out really aggressive like the first 30 seconds or something. And he hit me with like a little left hook, and luckily he hit me with like the palm, which is what I'll give all our viewers a little boxing lesson real quick. Okay, this is what I tell my guys: don't hit. You hit with these knuckles right here, and there is a reason, because if you hit with his palm, there's flex. Your wrist will bend like that. The joint, your hand, expand, and it will bend.
There's also crazy amount of bones in your hands.
Yes,
that are it's meant to flex.
Same right here
and give.
Right, it'll give. So your wrist and your hand and all this give there. That is what keeps people from getting knocked out when they get clubbed. But when you hit like this, there's nowhere to go. It is. I mean, that is strong. So when you get hit with the knuckles, so luckily he didn't roll him over. He probably knocked me out in 30 seconds if he'd have rolled that over and hit it like that. But he clubbed me right in the jaw, and I felt it in my left foot. He hit me on the right side of my face, and my left foot started tingling. And that's when I was like, oh, God. Like, that's when I got on the bicycle and just started moving my head. And,
yeah.
But oddly enough, all the fights the hardest I've gotten hit, like where I was like knocked out but still awake, was those. The fight with Zach Dalen where I was TKO'd in the fight, like that's what on the record it is a TKO. I hate to admit it, but I was completely exhausted. So, and it wasn't a long fight. I had cut weight to 170 for the first time, and it was, it was a rough weight cut. But I go out there. Zach was a super skilled guy, and I just thought I was gonna be able to rehydrate up well enough and feel good. And I felt well warming up and stuff. But then when I went out there and I hit him one time and I split him open, and then he took me down and we grappled. And then because we started grappling, I mean, I related to kind of like that first time you ever grapple more than like 3 or 4 rounds, where like your arms feel like bubbles. It's like hard to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was able to sweep him and stand up. And when I did that, I had nothing. You know what I mean? And so I go to grab him and he knees me in the face. And like your question for lack of oxygen, when he kneed me in the face, I was completely conscious, but my body just gave out. I was just so exhausted. And when he got on the mount, he hit me with an elbow that split me open. So that was rough. But the punches weren't even hitting me hard. I had no energy, no power to even push off of him, other than just a block. The weight cut, I probably did it wrong more than anything.
Yeah.
But like that one, I wasn't out, and I'm the type of person I will definitely share that experience of like.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's interesting to me, and then the same with Javonis. With Javonis, I didn't want to be there. And we got into a scrap, and he dropped me. It was just one of those flash, like, boom, with the knee. But, it was just quick and over. But it wasn't like a... Yeah. But that one with Dakota, or the one with Leonard, still to this day is probably the absolute worst one, because I completely lost that memory.
That's crazy. I just recently went back to jiu-jitsu Saturday at an open mat, and I was like, damn, I feel remarkably well. Mm-hmm. Like, my knee felt fine, like, moving and everything, and I didn't have any issues the entire time. The very last roll I had, my arms were so fucking dead.
Yeah.
That...
Were you doing gi or no gi?
It was no gi.
Okay.
I only do no gi now. But I would let the dude I was rolling with get in a better position, and he basically came on super strong in the roll. Like, he had a lot of rest rounds throughout the day. I didn't have any. Like, I rolled every single roll.
For sure.
Just because I love that. Because open mat is like a kid in a candy store to me. I'm like, this is exactly what I do jiu-jitsu for.
Right.
Because I want to do it all the time. And that's the benefit of open mat. You get to do it like back to back to back to back. Anyways, he had a bunch of rests and I didn't. And he came in full throttle and ultimately got me into a like head and arm triangle setup. Like, I know you're going to say like, yes, that's what a fucking triangle is, but it's from the side.
Right.
So like his shin was against here.
Right.
Or his shin was against my neck and he was trying to like shoulder crank me. But the way my arms were set up, I was holding on to my arm, but my arm was like folded on my other arm like this. My arms were so dead. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
My hands were stuck.
Oh.
I couldn't move my hands, and I tapped with my foot or maybe my hand. I don't even know. I couldn't feel my hand, so like I had to let go. And even when we restarted the round after I tapped, I got to his back. I got him in a rear naked choke, and he kept touching my hand. I could not feel my fucking hands to finish the choke. Ultimately, I did finish the choke, but I couldn't.
You're like, I can still finish the choke whether I can feel it or not.
I wasn't doing it with my hands. I had to use my wrists to move up.
So you cut your own circulation off there, huh?
Yeah, like I was getting up to his neck, but I could not I couldn't close my hands. So I wasn't feeling my hands. I could, when you're sitting on your legs so long and you feel the tingling? I could feel the tingling, but past my wrists, I could not feel my hands at all. And after the round, I was like, I'd never been that blown up before. Like, that's gotta be like what wrestlers talk about. Like when they're like, I'm gonna blow this amateur up. Like he's new to the sport. Like he thinks he's gonna come out here and like how John Cena and Kurt Angle did.
Oh yeah.
Like Kurt Angle thought he was gonna blow up John Cena, and he was like, oh whoa, John Cena's hanging. This is crazy. Like that's what it felt like to me. And
that's how I
that's
felt in
gotta
that fight
feel
with
like
Dalen. Like,
blowed up.
Like, yeah, just like first time I ever did gi, like grabbing and all the forearm muscles from grabbing and pulling, and then like you can't even like the first time I ever did gi, I couldn't even turn my car on like at first. Like I had to like, the fuck is going on, dude? And so that's exactly how I felt from that weight cut, like trying to block, and then like it's his strength, and I'm like and then it's just like, oh fuck, what's going on?
I did an international. I'll stop saying that. I need to stop saying that. I did IBJJF in Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
What does the I stand for?
Yeah, international.
Then
whatever it is.
Own it, baby, own it.
Anyways, I was doing that, and I got into, it was the third place match. I got third place, but like after the match before that, so I don't know what that is. Semifinals. I never understand semifinals versus. I know quarterfinals is like way off. Yeah. Semifinals.
Semifinal.
Yeah, why
it's
can't
the
I?
Semifinal. Or no, it's quarterfinals. Yeah, semifinals, finals.
Yeah, I'm gonna submit that to memory, so hopefully that sticks. But
I second guess myself now.
I'm fighting to get. I'm trying to win my side of the bracket to go fight for first. I lose in the final on my side of the bracket, and then I think it's over. But I have to fight the loser on that side of the bracket too for third.
Yeah.
My arms, not knowing that, my arms are fucking toast, and Trey is like doing.
Oh yeah, Larry.
The roller on your arms, yeah, like he's trying to get my arms back, and I'm like,
the blood flow.
Dude, we're done. I lost.
Yeah,
we're done. And he's like, no, you have one more match, and I was like, I lost. What do you mean? And he's like, this was one half of the bracket, and I was like, oh. So I ended up getting third.
Yeah.
But like, that is the only other time where my arms, I'm talking like, got to be what you experienced. I could not. It was gi.
Yeah.
So everything, and I'm white belt. So everything's holding. Everything's like, holding, no, you're not doing this.
White knuckles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
But
don't rob yourself of that international label because, listen, UFC Fight Pass is global.
Yeah.
So I have fought on international television.
Hey, look at you, brother.
See what I'm saying?
I can rob
I fought in Biloxi, Mississippi on UFC Fight Pass. I have fought on international
That's
television.
right, dude.
It is global.
You have fought for the UFC.
Bare knuckle TV.
Okay.
It's global. International. You know what I'm saying? Following that.
Bro, you...
Times two.
Yeah,
International.
you're definitely doing better things than me, though.
The specifics matter not, sir. That was also in Biloxi. Specifics matter not. Oh, I followed, just, I followed, like TV, seen around.
Yeah.
No big deal. I placed third in an international just a tournament, no big
That's
deal.
the medal right there.
I'm just saying, international's in the name. Don't rock.
And honestly, I know that's a third place medal. Kind of looks gold, doesn't it?
Looks pretty gold to me.
Hey, it might be a gold medal. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Kurt freaking Angle over here.
Yeah. But let's get back to the MMA for 2025. What do you want to see happen? Like,
I'm trying to think of any. I'm really trying to think of fights that I'd be excited to see.
I would love to see like a Hamzat versus it, because Hamzat's at 185. If Alex Six around, that'd be a crazy fight.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that visually.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them standing across from each other. The amount of like, I don't give a fuck, I'll die here tonight feeling in that ring.
Oh yeah.
In that octagon, that would be like the stairs
the
would
most
be
intense stare down ever.
Bro.
Your heavy. Well, so let's start at the top. So your heavyweight division is shallow as hell.
Yeah.
Because there's it's Tom and John.
And then you're gonna start dipping in the weight class below it to get that one more exciting.
Right. So then your 205 division, pretty shallow, right? We got Ankalaev, who is rightfully next, but then if he beats him, who else?
Oh yeah, I said the wrong champion there, but I would like to see that fight. But past Ankalaev, he should go up to heavyweight. Yeah, and roughly, if Ankalaev wins, I wouldn't hate to see the rematch between him and they fought for the title, and neither one of them got the title.
Blachowicz, is that
Blachowicz, yeah. I would love to see that rematch because I know everybody thinks that fight was boring, but I kind of like Blachowicz. Polish power. I like the whole vibe of him and I don't know.
85 is interesting, right? You got Duplessis, you got
Easy out there. You have
Roman. Whitaker just lost pretty bad.
Dolezaj.
Yeah, then you got Khamzat. But I don't know. I'm not as excited this year. At the end of this year that I'm as I was.
Yeah, it is wild going into the next year. What we've seen this year, I feel like.
Also, to be fair, just for my viewers here, to be fair, my man hit me up today and was like, "Can you make plans to come here today?" And I was like,
"That's alleged."
Unprepared, I came here. So anytime, so I haven't had time to study, the rankings and stuff. And like I said,
well, you wanted to go through weight class. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying 5 fights you want to see next year.
Well, that's the reason I want to go through weight class, because otherwise I'm not even going to be able to.
All right, don't get lippy with me. You getting real quick over there, bud. You're like, yeah.
Listen.
It'd be crazy to see, I don't know, Chandler win a fight.
I like Chandler.
I do like Chandler. I think he is a little too nice and corny.
Oh yeah, he is. Have you seen the thing where he says 9 times out of 10 I beat Charles, and it's he beat you twice though.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough.
I thought he was going to beat Charles, man. I thought he was going to come back, but he obviously had a ring rust.
Chandler kind of floating around with talking about fighting Jorge.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's a weird fight.
It is a weird fight for sure.
It's dude, Chandler won. Fight in your weight class. Also, if you're gonna fight 170, fight Conor then. If we're ever gonna get Conor to fight again.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about that?
I don't know.
Do we want to talk about that?
He's fighting different things.
I have hot takes on that, honestly.
Okay, what's up?
I just have a hot take that I don't think he did it.
Okay, look.
Can I say one reason why?
Go ahead.
Conor McGregor to all of... Now, listen, first of all, I don't know Conor McGregor. I've never sat in a room with the guy and met him and talked. But also these fighters, regardless of like John Jones could only get away with it so long for his true colors, shown, and Connor's have shown, but his colors are always vanity and narcissism.
Yeah.
And in the article that released it, there's a thing that she says that he said to her that instantly, if she would have left that part out, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, he did it.
What was it? I didn't hear.
She says that he grabbed her and choked her and said, "This is how I felt in the octagon when I tapped 3 times." Who the fuck?
What?
Who the fuck says that?
That's weird.
That's weird as fuck.
I never heard that.
Conor McGregor would not be. I don't think someone who is on camera been so narcissistic and prideful and vain would be in that moment reliving probably one of the worst nights of his life, getting choked out by Khabib.
Yeah.
I
also
highly doubt that was the case. Also, 8 women on the jury for a case about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little left. I mean, that's a little leaning,
Yeah, and to defend the situation, ultimately, we have no idea what really happened.
Exactly. So I'm not trying to disparage the lady either, but I'm just saying from a
but to take a very hot take, because my hot take is much hotter than yours. I didn't realize your take was going to be so okay.
Oh, fuck you.
What? Visually, if you guys know what Conor looks like, and this is going to sound so disrespectful, but if you saw what the lady looked like, and I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Well, but Conor admitted they had vigorous athletic sex.
But yes.
Conor admitted that.
But did you see what the lady looked like?
I have not seen what the lady looked like.
It's tough. I don't see this equation adding.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I think I get where you're going.
Connor's going to...
Remind me to show you this video afterwards about this John Cena interview. It's so funny.
If Connor's going to do this physical activity onto someone that didn't want it to be onto them, I'm thinking he would have picked somebody higher in the rankings. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Like if his fight is going to be like that, you know what I'm saying? If you're picking what I'm putting up, you know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, yeah.
It just didn't make sense to me. When I saw it and I really
it's the classic thing of this guy's got a lot of money and he's a notorious party animal.
And you could have basically any girl.
Yeah, and
in that type of scene,
but
anyone there is going to see you and going to be like, "Ooh, I'm going to make some money off Conor."
Why not? That's what I'm saying, and it doesn't maybe they did, and she went back there, and and what I was saying was it very well could have been, of course, baby, I'm going to call you, I'm going to do this, we'll wine and dine you, whatever he says to get his lay, and then he takes off, he doesn't call her, doesn't pay her, doesn't do whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the Vince McMahon debacle. What he did was very terrible, allegedly, and all that stuff. But at the same time, this person took money from somebody to keep their mouth shut. So I hate to be that guy, but if you get, you know what I mean? You are accepting that. Yeah. You have the right to turn down.
Dude, this is such a good point. And I know this is probably outside of your realm, but do you know what's going on with Zach Bryan?
Zach Bryan,
this country music star. I don't follow country music.
Yeah, I don't even know who Zach.
But
Bryan
I follow Barstool Sports very lightly.
Right.
Okay. So what Dave Portnoy does, I think he's funny as fuck, and I think he's very interesting for pop culture, and I think he's valued. He needs to be here. You need that. He's like the Chael Sonnen of that type of world or whatever. Right. Well, he does a podcast with this lady called Brianna Chicken Fry.
Or TRT tour.
Yeah. And this other dude, Zach or something. Anyways, Brianna was dating Zach Bryan for a while. Well, apparently Zach Bryan's a shitty fucking dude and he did all these things. And he's like, yo, we're over. I'll pay you, I think it was $13 million to not say a fucking thing about what happened between us. And she did not take the money. So she can say everything she fucking wants about it. That is to relate to that point. Like,
yeah, no, there you go. That you are
you
more,
stood on your morals.
and there you go. You were not bought off.
Yeah.
And as you should, if that's what you believe in. And if you don't believe that, well, what happened to me is whatever, you know what I mean? And they gave me this money and I'm cool, then that's fine. Now, allegedly, people sometimes stop paying people and that becomes a muddy water situation. But
I mean, I think Brianna did it correctly. Like, if you feel like you value yourself and like you need to,
like, no, this message needs to get out.
yeah, you need to honor the story and potentially prevent anything that happened to you to happen to anyone else.
All I gotta say is, bro,
You need to get that out there. Yeah.
if you're offering some, Vince McMahon only offered that lady $3 million. He shit on her head.
Well, yeah.
What did Homeboy do for $13 million?
Hey, you know what's wild too? I mean, she's talked a lot about what's going on, and I'll let you look into that if you want to. But what is wild about the Vince thing is like, everybody has to put everything through this filter. Okay, everybody, any news you ever hear, put it through this filter. If you hear something and you absolutely know for a fact it is 100% true, imagine what you don't know.
Oh yeah.
Put shit through that filter. So, like, if we found out, like, the shit on the head thing, imagine what we didn't find out. What is still under wraps.
Well, and yeah, so, like, if you've watched...
Here's the
thing, too. It tracks. Like, when I heard that and read that and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, it sounds like something Vince would do. Have you not watched any of that media leading up to the point? Not to bring this up, this is crazy to show you how popular the UFC is, because like Vince can't get away with that, right? Because like, especially since the Me Too movement, any type of anything against females and women is like used to be a death sentence. It's getting a little better now. You know, we can hit women again. We can hit women again. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't say that.
Going right to that, Dana White.
Wow.
My man didn't get in any trouble at all for slapping homegirl.
You know what's crazy is this is tried and true. That is crazy. That should be something that should be held very accountable. But
I mean,
the way pop culture moves,
so like...
yes. But the way pop culture moves, if you don't want to be canceled, you will not be canceled. If you allow yourself to be canceled, you're canceled. That's just how that fucking works.
To an extent. They canceled Dana White.
Okay.
What's going to happen? Everybody knew. Bro, everybody's a UFC fan now. Everybody.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to cancel Dana White. That's the fucking UFC guy.
The only way you cancel
him.
Okay, but there are unrecoverables.
No, for sure.
Pedophilia.
Well, yeah, you know, Kevin Spacey, unrecoverable. Weinstein, unrecoverable. P. Diddy, unrecoverable.
There's things that you cannot recover from. But like to say like...
Chris Brown recovered.
And I'm not saying it's okay.
No, it's not. It's really not. This is
sounding like we're saying it's okay. This is not okay to hit women.
It is not at all.
It is not. But there is a fact with the history of the world. Dana White's still out there.
No, for sure.
He was not canceled for what happened.
Right. Well, and I feel like it's weird because it's all, everything really and truly is all about timing.
Yes.
Like Louis C.K. was a casualty, I feel like, when he got his little canceled.
Also, why was he even in trouble? That makes no sense.
No sense. Got permission, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And again, now we go back
if
to the money.
If there's a power play to it and we don't know about that, I agree. Whatever he served, he served.
Yeah. You know? If there's but here's the thing. If you feel like there's a power play.
Yeah.
But he's not true.
Yeah.
Not true, because but how many times have you been around somebody and be like, man, are you mad at me?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, bro. I'm just thinking about, you know, Christmas.
Wrestling.
I'm just thinking about wrestling, bro. I'm so pissed how this happened, and you're like, oh, okay. And
this whole bloodline storyline is pissing me the fuck off.
But like, you can project onto people, and so you know, like it's one of those things that Louis C.K. He's Louis C.K. So maybe they felt like I have to say yes. He may have never made them feel like he had to say yes, but because they felt like they had to. Because it's Louis C.K., they feel dirty about it. Now they feel something. So it's a slippery slope, but you can trick yourself into that.
Yes, true. Also, another level to that story, if you listen to the podcast leading up, or right after it was announced that had happened, a lot of the comedians knew about this for years.
They're like, yeah, Louis does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it was not at all like he was trying to keep anything under wraps.
Here's another one, less controversial to as far as like, you know, the sexual exploitations and stuff.
Yeah.
More controversial as far as amongst comics. Carlos Mencia stealing jokes,
Yes.
or Dane Cook stealing jokes. You know who was an absolute notorious joke stealer? No one gave a fuck. Everyone loved him. Robin Williams.
Yeah. It's crazy too.
Dude, my favorite Robin Williams joke. Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say it? I don't know the whole thing, but it's Jesus is at the Last Supper and he says, there is a traitor amongst us. One of you will betray me or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes through the names. Peter, is it me? He's like, no, it's not you, Peter. Paul, is it me? No, it's not you, Paul. John, is it me? No, it's not you, John. Then it's Judas. Is it me, Jesus? Is it me, Jesus? Dude, it's so fucking funny.
He was always really good at like
God. My man
making all his material sound like it's coming off the cuff, and some of it was,
yes.
but like a lot of it, like he's kind of like a freestyle rapper.
Yeah.
A lot of it is formulaic, the way he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can lay that formula if you knew how to do it and do it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
But like it's weird, right? How Robin, nobody ever really said anything about him stealing jokes. I mean, you had Cat Williams come out here and
it's even harder to say it now that he
yeah, but I mean, he was out of stand-up comedy in after like 03, 04, I think, 05. So and he had lived after, you know, to like I think it's 2010 or
he only
something.
did like a big HBO special or something.
And so he had done coming up and stuff. But you think of all the comics' careers who have taken a downturn or ended. What was that one chick? She got a movie.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah, joke stealing, like all these little things.
Yes.
And these guys, but Robin, I think probably more than anything, people just liked Robin.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a likable person where you're just like, man, Robin.
The thing with Robin Williams though was it felt like he had so much depth and so many layers of like differences to him. Like it wasn't just like, this is another comedian.
Yeah.
Like, for example, to me, like, you could argue, like, the lineage of female stand-up comics, a lot of them use the same type of material. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, guys do, too. Like, we all have, guys, like, kind of similar.
Black comics use the same template. I was talking about this with my buddy Devin yesterday. It was, like, because we were talking about Kevin Hart's first, like, 2 or 3 specials were amazing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that same formulaic, you know, black comedy.
Yeah.
That is known in that formula, and it's the same with women. It's the same with the like the redneck type comics. It's the same with the liberal comics. And the guys that stand out are the guys that blend it all together really well.
Or that are like, so different. Like Mark Norman is so, it's like quick little jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so different.
Jesselnick, very different because his
different.
His is all just terrible things.
His is all going straight and then turning at the very last second.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
But like, it's like, if you're different than you, I don't know. But it felt like Robin just had stand up, but then he had like, you knew something serious.
Well, he had
was
voices. He had voices. He had an energy.
The expression was so crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of people that suffer from the whole joke stealing. Obviously, Dane Cook, even with the Louis thing, like the whole like being a kid's name and Carlos, like people really fell the fuck off.
But see, like Dane's, I don't know if I guess I followed his as much, but I don't remember Dane's being as egregious as like Mencia's word for word.
Yeah.
I remember there being like...
Dude, look into it. There's some weird stories about like... And I love Dane Cook. Dude, still to this day, I love listening to him.
His old jokes are really funny. The B&Es and the...
All of it.
Yes.
Burger King, all that stuff. I'm a snake.
Yeah,
like
I'm a snake.
Like, there's like so many... His Comedy Central Presents 30-minute thing was fucking awesome. But there's so many people like that I don't know, like Amy Schumer, Carlos Mencia, Dane Cook. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of people that steal little things like that.
But it's really hard, you know, like I said, if you're not if you're not gifted, you're not going to be able to do it well.
Yeah.
And then if you're not, some people are super talented, so they don't have to have as much work effort to it. But for like someone like me, who I can crack jokes like in the moment,
Yeah.
I can make decent jokes. To sit down and think of a joke, it takes like effort and time. And so it's like some of the, and then that's why people get so upset. It's intellectual property.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's only really so many like topics you can think of to make a joke.
Yeah. That's why I think it's safer when you come from stories.
Yeah.
Real stories that have happened. That's why you do see, like, I think right now we're in like a renaissance where storytelling type comedians are blowing the fuck up. Nate Bargatze, Sebastian Maniscalco, Tom Segura, Bert, even though I don't fucking like that dude at all, Bert, all these people are blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, Shane is a anomaly. Like, he can tell stories. Not that he is mainly a story and observational guy, but sometimes it's not even like super detailed stories. It's like,
right.
Yo, my dad will get mad at the TV.
Yeah.
He's like, do you believe they're fucking turning Elmo gay?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not really a story. It's like a brief observation, and it's so funny the way he says it.
Well,
or he's like giving it to his girl, and he's like, she's aching in pain, like, oh my God, this is a big dick. And he's like, yeah, right, lady. That's so funny because it's just like something fratty about him. Something like...
Yeah. That's what makes again, it's just, personalities, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the way you mesh things together. You know who I used to like before he came out with a podcast? It's Daniel Tosh.
I don't watch his podcast.
I get clips whenever
loved
I'm
his
like...
show. I think that was the best formula.
Hey, listen, the Tosh.0 was amazing. But I'm just saying the podcast that he does... Just some of the things he says, I'm not, when you come to politics and things like that, I'm not like super one way or the other. I feel like I'm at a moral, like, middle ground. I think we've talked about this on one of the many visits I've been on, 7, that, that most of America's probably pretty straight down this line of like, morality, but, I just feel sometimes, whether he's being genuine or not, he's playing to one side. Whether he's doing that just to get likes or if that's who he really is, it's just like, man, you're being obnoxious more than you're being funny.
Yeah.
Like your stand-up, top tier, funny, excellent. Your Tosh.0, which is his stand-up basically, so for more or less, excellent.
It was his version basically of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like a variety show mixed. It was like America's Funniest Home Videos and Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
But then you also got to hang out with whoever the show clip was. Like, yo, this dude's funny, and we're gonna have him on, and we're gonna do this little bit with him.
I don't know. It's interesting. I don't even remember how we got on comedy.
I don't know. Canceling people. That's what it was.
Dana White slapped homegirl.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to assume her gender. Again, I don't want to.
Ultimately, we were talking about the fights we want to see next year. And we never get to finish that. But
I'm sorry. No, I don't know.
I'd love to see Conor fight again, just because it's like Conor, and I want him to have one last fight. Before
he's supposed to be fighting Paul, one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think we're ever seeing him in the octagon.
Yeah, probably never.
I want to see Chandler win.
Conor, just fucking go to the WWE and be a personality.
Yeah.
Be a Stone Cold where you don't.
I want to see Conor versus Mike Perry in BKFC, especially because Perry, he lost that fight to Jake Paul, and Conor was like, "You're fired" or whatever. And no shit, the dude has not been announced, has not had a fight, has not had nothing.
There's also been a lot of weird shit happening in MMA, like the whole Bellator PFL thing. Like, why can't these people get fights?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like y'all are doing something with the contract where maybe you can't pay or something.
There's also a little bit of oversaturation in the market. I mean, I feel like
but your fucking champions can't get fights. What do you mean over? I get the oversaturation, but like, if we're using that, how are we not fighting our champions?
Yeah.
Those should be the only fights going if there's oversaturation and you only want to get out the best product. Only fight your champions on pay-per-views then, or whatever you put out, whatever this shit is.
Well, again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Some guys are athletes and some guys, All of them are athletes, but some of these guys come from an athletic perspective, and some of these guys come from a warrior or a battle perspective. And the athletic perspectives are going to be the Bispings. Even though Bisping is a fighter's fighter most of the time, that title run was an athletic fighter's mindset of like, I'm not fighting Yoel, I'm going to fight George because that's money.
I want some wins.
I want some wins. I want that. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You know who was he's not a very good fighter's fighter, but you know who's a fighter's fighter? Fucking Greg Hardy. That dude got knocked out in Russia again, like 2 weeks ago, and it's just like the guy will fight anybody.
I just saw that.
He will fight anybody. He will fight any style, bare knuckle, boxing,
and you know what's weird
MMA.
about him is like,
but he's not good. But
yeah, but he's saying it's because he wants to learn. I'm like, brother, you should have learned already.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you can't get better, but I'm saying like you've learned already. Like you have a ceiling. You've hit that ceiling.
Knockouts like that, you're not gonna get any better.
You were at your peak in the UFC, and that wasn't even great.
Yeah, but the guy doesn't care.
Yeah,
that's a fighter. That's a like I don't care. Who is it?
Honestly, Greg Hardy is like what Aaron Hernandez could have been.
Yeah,
like Greg Hardy could have done what fucking did, but he just decided to channel that anger a different way, and it's crazy the path you can take. Yeah, I don't know.
So I just feel like the reason these guys aren't getting fights is because people are picking and choosing. A lot of people don't want to fight. Let's see. 170. I would like to see Leon Edwards versus MVP. I think that would be a really good fight.
The fucking rumor. I know we're never gonna finish this segment. Okay, but did you hear the fucking rumor that Nate Diaz signed a contract to fight Jake Paul in the UFC?
I have not heard that rumor. No.
Well, Nate just put out a tweet that was like, sign the contract. I'm not going to fight for some shitty organization. It was in reference to responding to like Jake saying he has a fight.
Well, Jake signed with the PFL.
Yeah, and well, Dana came out like a few days ago and was like, I have some huge news, totally out of left field. Nobody's ever going to guess this. Nate dropped that tweet. What if he signed a one-fight deal with Jake? Like, yo, I'm going to watch Nate destroy your boy in MMA. Arguably, who knows?
Honestly, who knows? Does Nate really destroy him?
Do you think? That was not my opinion. But I'm saying, like, that's Dana's opinion. Like, I'm going to let Nate destroy you in the UFC. Hey, guess what? I don't think it goes down like that. Yeah. I think what Jake's going to learn to do is grapple him down. And yes, I know Nate is a black belt, but I think he's going to try to weigh heavy on him.
But hold on.
There's so many.
Since when does Nate have any takedowns?
Yeah, no, exactly. He's going to let Jake take him down, and then he's going to triangle him.
Jake ain't going to take him down. Jake's already shown and proven Nate's not a kickboxer. His boxing, dude.
And MMA, though, it's different. I think Nate could.
Now, the gloves are different. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this happens. Do you know why?
I mean,
he was like 230 something pounds to fight crazy. Tyson. So he would have to get down to 70, which is the highest that Diaz.
Or 85. He's fought 85, hasn't he?
Diaz has never fought 85 until that boxing match, I think. He's only fought at 170 in the UFC.
Yeah, you're right. So he fought Jorge in boxing at 180, 190?
Maybe. So maybe. But...
Because that was the thing that set up the Jake fight, because he fought Jorge first.
Oh, yeah.
Then he fought Jake. But yeah, I don't know. I heard that rumor. I mean, literally today I heard that rumor. And I was like, is that fucking true?
I mean, that'd be cool.
It'd be weird. It'd be the CM Punk of this year. Or this decade, I guess. Because CM Punk, that was 2010s?
Yeah, but also...
We have a CM Punk situation every 10.
Yeah, we do.
Because before that was...
James Toney.
I think that was the first.
But you know what? But here's the thing. I think CM Punk did take it very serious. I just thought he didn't have any talent.
Exactly. And Jake would be the best representation as far as like talent,
Jake,
youth,
Jake
ability, money to back it.
Jake has experience and talent, though, so it's not the same as CM Punk, because CM Punk came from wrestling. That's how you know that dude is good at his craft. He had all these motherfuckers believing.
God, look, this is what I thought. I thought the first fight was going to be a fucking joke, and it was. But then I thought the next fight, because it was so long, it was another year or so, maybe even more, that I was like, they're going to put him against an average blue belt, and maybe he'll do well enough to win a decision. I didn't know the guy was going to be like fucking around.
I always hate when they try the UFC.
Also, your first fight ever is Mickey Gall. Crazy.
Yeah. Well,
like for your first fight,
they didn't know though.
I know, but like somebody had to know. I think the Ray Longo camp knew. They fucking knew. They're like, "What the fuck? You got the CM Punk fight? This is easy money."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Dude, I'd have crushed CM Punk, brother. I wish they'd assigned me at 170. I'd have gone in there and beat the best in the world.
and everyone we know.
Yeah.
Hilton could have bodied CM Punk. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting world, but that I do think is like,
as long as he doesn't have a toolbox, he can't touch me.
I don't know, because okay, let's play with that question a little bit. We do have a CM Punk, James Toney every 10 years. What is that going to be this decade? Is it going to be like a football player trying to come over? I mean, we did Greg Hardy, but that was also a little more legit. Because he had amateur fights before he got signed to the UFC.
Well, see, that's why I feel like Jake Paul's a little more legit. Because he's knocking out MMA guys in boxing gloves. Like, come on now.
Maybe the Elon fight happens.
Elon and Zuck. Maybe that's what he's going to announce.
Holy fuck.
That doesn't happen, but maybe he does. Elon's body type's not for it. He's out there smoking with Trump and shit.
I think maybe he was going to take that a little bit serious. And then, didn't one of them get injured? Wasn't Zuck injured?
I don't know. I think Zuck would beat the fuck out of Elon Musk.
Zuck had a knee injury or something.
Because he trains all the time.
Yeah,
and
he
would destroy.
He trains with Izzy and Volk and all them boys. And like, yeah, I would have my money on Facebook, brother.
Yeah.
Tesla going down.
Yeah.
They might rule the fucking space and sky and all that shit, but
they're gonna fight for pinks, dude.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Yo, loser leaves Earth.
Yeah, loser loses the company that he represents.
That'd be crazy.
Winner takes all.
Dude, if I was Zuck and I was so confident I was gonna be Elon, I'd be like, look, I don't want your company, I don't want nothing. You can continue to do whatever you want. But if you lose, you get Facebook or Meta or whatever tattooed on your forehead.
Yeah, own your brain,
Live
bro.
stream it on Meta.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I don't want no money. I don't want UFC to pay me nothing. This is what I want.
It's funny because
another genius.
There's two sides to it, of like the freak show fights and the competitive athletic side. But it's always been that way.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. Boxing, it's been that way. Wrestling, all sorts of things, you know. It's always been where, you know, freak shows are what sell the fights. Because honestly, watching Bilal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards, the two best in the 170 division, is boring as fuck. Sorry, you both could beat me, maybe, but still boring as fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But you go and you watch, you know, these big fights. They get everybody excited. No one's excited to watch Leon and Bilal.
Yeah.
No one's going to be excited, especially after the last performance, to watch Shavkat versus Bilal, because Shavkat just out-grappled Ian on the fence. That's what Bilal did to Leon. No one wants to watch that. But you say, hey, Jake Paul's going to finally shut his mouth and step in the ring and fight. Yeah. Everybody's like, and everybody's giving money. You know. Now, yeah. Dana, the reason he is so good is because he holds just enough of that legitimacy, that sporting legitimacy there, while still letting freak shows go. Yeah. He sprinkles them in, you know, to still keep it legit. Now, on that legit side, he does fuck with the rankings all the time, but he's also the boss man, and he makes, I mean, honestly, I'm not disappointed with how Dana runs things.
Yeah. Because he does, like, speed run people to a championship if he feels like... Now, we say that, but it's like you got to win your own fights.
Yeah, but
they do, like, pick and choose, like, favorable
Michael Bisping
matches.
Defending... This is a perfect segue here, because he got the title shot when Bisping was the champ and leapfrogged like fucking 10 people.
Yeah.
But who wants to watch Bisping get absolutely murked by Yoel Romero? Tell me that wouldn't happen. He murked a prime Chris Weidman.
See you soon, boy.
Yeah. But no, they want to see if the old man. They want to see if the old man has one more in the chamber. You know what I mean? Like it's a storylines and you've got to go in MMA where things are not scripted. There's a famous saying that the truth is stranger than fiction. And when things naturally occur into a storyline that converge perfectly, then you've got to go where the money's at. The TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, all three of those fights took place way too quickly after each other, which is what helped the results. But they had a hot fire they had to get poking.
Brother, did we talk about Cody's face?
Yeah, we did last time. Yeah,
Okay,
we talked about his horrible life choices.
We're looping, but goddamn.
It's just one big comp. Hey, next year, whenever I get to 14, probably, we should just go ahead and do a compilation of just my videos.
Yeah, we should do all the worst shit you've ever said.
That's a good one.
That could be one.
It takes some time to find it all.
I'll reach out to the suit guy and see if he has some time to edit. I know he's not doing much with his life right now, but before we get out of here, is there anything you want to announce or you want to...
I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I want to say have a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Don't really want to announce anything because the last couple of announcements I've had on here, I'm done with those. You know what I mean? But no, I want to say thank you to Taylor and my kids and for helping me have an awesome life. And, I'm good. Shout out to my team. I do got a guy fighting on the 25th and possibly 2 more, so we'll see. But shout out to them. Work hard. Train smart. Eat your heart out, Cam and Cade.
7-time. Like I forgot to do the.
Dude, I'm on. I'm
when you went 5-time.
I did, and so now listen.
5-time.
So I'm on my way to Ric Flair numbers, man.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're gonna be the. You will be the.
I already am
OG. Like.
Yeah. Well,
you're gonna be what everybody tries to surmount themselves to. They're gonna look at the top of that mountain.
I'm gonna get me a bust made and put it in here.
A bus?
A bust.
Oh, dude. Okay. All right.
Well, me like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a trophy of just his face.
Removable hands and fingers, so I can just keep adding more and more hands. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's getting weird, so we're gonna get out of here. But before we do. If you want to put that number 7 up on the board or start a tally, I don't know how you want to do it. You want to etch it like prison?
I'm just going to start writing over other people's names.
Like Cam. Every time you come on, you should take one of his off. So, like, subtracts.
Add a hop. So it's going to look like this was here by the end of it.
Shout out to Johnny Mumbles at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio. He is our #1 sponsor. He does all of our tattoo work. Me and Hilton. He is about to finish my back. It's going to look absolutely amazing. I can't wait to drop the visuals on what he's done so far. About to get it finished. I think by the time this comes out, my back will be almost completely finished, and we just got some details coming around the edges of it. But Johnny is such a saint, dude. He's such a good dude. He's been working on my back for a long time. My legs, just able to fit me in any time that he has a moment. He is awesome to deal with. I highly suggest you reaching out to him. He's tattooed tons of people that have been on the podcast, and that's just like by coincidence because he's such a good artist that people will be like, y'all are sponsored by Johnny? Johnny's the dude. So if you want to reach out to him, hit him up on Instagram at Johnny Mumbles. You can also check out Sacred Grounds Tattoos on Instagram. All their shit is up to date. Awesome location. New posts all the time. They do fun stuff, so they'll be putting up Flash or doing like Friday the 13th things. Check them out. Get on the books. Get 2025 started off correctly. Get a new piece, brother. You could even get a tally tattoo. Just start.
I need to.
SPS dash. But we're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
We want to wish you everyone a happy New Year. I hope that 2025 is better to you than 2024 was. We had a fucking blast on the podcast all year. I can't do it without you guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in and listening and keeping this guy coming back.
Hey, man. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I love coming every time.
Hell yeah. We can't thank you enough for coming on. Thank you guys for listening. We're out of here. Mwah.